first of all, I didn't know you two were together working on the same project.
Yeah, we are married.
Yeah, and our profile picture that we've got up there is actually the first thing that we worked on together, which is a TV show in Canada called Strange Empire. I played Cara's husband in it.
It's true, and that's where we met, actually. And the very first thing that Richard ever said to me, he said we met in the makeup trailer that morning, and he said, "Are you Cara?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Will you marry me?" And I said, "I think later on today," because the first day that we shot our wedding scene between our two characters in that show.
Wow. Well, that was some pickup line.
Right? Right?
I said it very earnestly.
Yeah.
Did he propose the same way too in a makeup trailer?
No, I proposed in the kitchen.
Yeah, in the kitchen at home. Actually, Richard proposed to me right after we finished shooting A Lone Wolf.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's actually, in a roundabout way, that's kind of how I came to the project in the first place. I was going into a store, and Charlie's wife, Eliza, who's also a producer on the film, was there, and I was buying the ring that I was going to propose to Cara with. And we just started talking. Their dog came up to me, and I was sitting with their dog on the floor. And we were talking about what we do, and I said, "I'm an actor." And Eliza said, "Well, my husband's doing his first feature. I can give him your name." I said, "Yeah, okay, fine." I thought, it's LA. That's sort of like a standard thing. And then a few weeks later, I got an email from Charlie saying, "I looked at your stuff, and I really think you're good, and I want to offer you the lead role in my film." So I read the script. I ended up saying I'm going to do it, and we had to sort of keep it quiet the entire shoot because I was going to propose after.
It was so funny because then Richard came to me and he said, I've just read this script and there's a part in it that's absolutely perfect for you in it. So I'm going to talk to the director. But because Richard had met Charlie through Eliza and shopping for the ring, he didn't want to tell me where he met her. So he just said sort of vaguely, "Oh, I met this woman at a store." So it sounded like the sketchiest plan ever. I was like, okay, let me read this script. And of course it ended up being something that we wanted to work on together. But I didn't know until, as Richard said, until shortly after the shoot when Richard proposed that was how he met Charlie. Was for shopping for an engagement ring. So the whole shoot, Charlie and Eliza had to keep it secret from me as well that was how they had met each other. So
I do have to admit, that is a great story.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny to watch the film now, looking back and knowing that everybody knew but me.
I guess it's a great story to tell the kids in the future and to show the movies, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It really definitely marks a very particular point in time for us.
Mm-hmm.
So neither of you had to audition. You were immediately offered the roles.
Yeah. It was wild. I think for Charlie too. Of course, hearing from his wife, "Oh, I met an actor at the store."
Yeah.
Like that is so LA. You can't roll your eyes hard enough at that. So it was kind of funny that then Charlie then went and looked at Richard's, body of work. And of course, Richard is incredible. And he's so lucky that Eliza happened to, meet him. So it was really through, I think, our reputations and our body of work that Charlie was able to confidently offer us the roles. We're both very serious actors. It's not like we're not, LA actors out, trying to just be famous or something. We're both quite serious. So it was a very fateful and lucky encounter.
So what's it like to work together, since technically you're both together at the time?
Yeah, it was a dream.
I mean, Cara is my favorite scene partner by far. I've always loved acting with her from the very first time that I ever worked with her. I thought, what an incredibly generous actor, what a smart actor. it was a dream. I mean, it was fantastic. Cara had just moved to the States. I had been here for a little bit, and it was a very, very beautiful welcome gift for us because we had been doing long distance for 3.5 years. So getting to go to work together every day, you know, and enjoying that instead, you know, rather than maybe wanting to kill each other.
Yeah.
It was a very good, you know, litmus test to see if we were going to be doing okay after all the long distance.
Yeah, it was wild. It was funny because we did go from, so I was living in Toronto and Richard was living in LA. And as he mentioned, we'd been doing long distance for 3.5 years, and I had just moved in with him. So we went from not seeing each other at all to seeing each other 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at work and at home. And it was a pretty intense project to be working on. But we had an amazing time. So we, decided to get married. And I think, you know, we hope to work together many times in the future. So it was a pretty great, it was definitely like, definitely a litmus test for how it would be. And we had a wonderful time. I have a very distinct memory actually of showing up for set, and we would drive in together, of course. So showing up to set first thing in the morning, and the sun was just rising over the palm trees. And before we, you know, we were sort of walking from the car to set, and I grabbed Richard's hand and I just said, look at this. How lucky are we to be here right now doing this together? And it's a memory that I will cherish for my whole life.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
But we'd already worked together, so we knew that we knew that the work would be.
Yeah.
Like that was how we met, was
Of
working
course.
together on that TV show. So we knew that the acting work would be, you know, we were very confident in that.
So what was both of your approach? I mean, sometimes I feel like your characters are ready to kill each other on this movie.
Yeah.
That would be accurate.
I don't know. We definitely each have our own process. For me, I feel like our styles are very complementary, where we both like to sort of keep it really loose and light when we're on set. You know, we like to be friendly with the people around us. Neither of us are types really, so we keep it pretty loose, and then I think that having that sense of trust between us is what allows, for me, it allows me to go deeper into those parts where we're at each other's throats, because you know that as soon as they call cut, we can laugh together.
How was the setting? Being in a one sort of, most of the production is in one setting shoot at the house.
Oh, that's a great question. To be honest, so we shot in the house first, and then I think it was like close to 2 weeks that we were shooting, and then we went out of the house for the rest of the shoot. And I remember feeling kind of uncomfortable getting out of that house for the first time, you know, and shooting out, and then slowly but surely getting kind of excited, which was kind of interesting for me because it kind of mirrored what Jonathan was going through in the script.
Oh, but that's so funny because that house was gross.
I loved it. It was so cozy.
Even with all the plastic curtains all over the place?
You'd be surprised how good of a nap you can take after lunch being behind all that plastic.
I'm surprised. I couldn't wait to get out of that house. It was disgusting. Maybe you are a method actor, Richard.
I don't know. Maybe.
You know, one of my favorite scenes was trying to teach Jonathan how to drive a car. I mean, could you tell me the process of going through that and how awkward that was?
Oh, that was so fun.
Oh, thank you.
That was so fun. I love driving, so that scene was definitely a challenge to look like I didn't know how to drive, because as soon as I could get my license, I got my license.
Oh, that was so funny. I remember, Richard remembered, we laughed together a lot shooting that scene. It was, I remember it because you had this particular stance for Jonathan. Like Richard did, he really, really, really altered his physicality for that role. And so he had this like really kind of weird posture that he was doing, and it cracked me up. It was so funny to watch him, and to watch, of course, Jonathan become sort of proud of himself in that moment. I thought it cracked me up. I'm so glad that translated.
Yeah.
Now, the other main character in the film is played by James Aaron Oliver. How was it working with him as the villain of the story?
James is an intense dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an intense dude. He was really like there's the climactic scene towards the end with James, and I remember shooting that scene, and Charles had broken it up in probably it was just the smartest way of shooting it, and that just speaks to his experience and Baz's experience. But James was just in it. Every single take was, it was just reacting, which is what you want to do as an actor. Very, very generous actor.
How was Charles as a first-time feature director?
Charles's body of work, in terms of the films that he's worked on before he did his first feature as a director, I think it really has enriched his process on set, because that was one of the most organized shoots, and you could just trust his process for how he was going to shoot a scene. One of the things that actors are sort of thinking about a lot of the time is, well, whose coverage is going to be shot first? Because it does kind of impact you how you do your coverage if somebody else does their coverage first. Charles on set would ask, who wants to go first?
Yeah. He was really, really, really wonderful to work with. Something that I take with me from that experience was because of course Charles has a lot of experience working on massive films as a grip. And so he knew how to speak with the crew. He knew the language, and not just the language, but he was so respectful of the crew's process and respectful of their time. And I think that one of the things that I believe in very strongly is dismantling the hierarchy on set. You hear horror stories about actors who won't come out of their trailer, or the director screaming at the crew, and you see that sometimes. And I think that to me, every single person who is working on set is essential to the telling of the story. And I think that this set, because of Charlie's vast knowledge and his respect for the crew, it really, really embodied that. And I was really proud to be part of that experience. And I learned a lot about that from watching him, actually.
So speaking of which, both of you have a nice, decent career. How do you choose your roles and projects at this point?
Oh, that's a good question. I think for us, a good challenging role plus the chance to work together is a no-brainer. I think that was a really easy decision for us for this project. But I do think, for me, I always ask, when I'm choosing a project, why this story now? And that's sort of a good barometer for whether, the project, what is the story that we're telling, and why does it matter now? I think that's a good starting point for me when we're looking at what project to work on next. But yeah, this one was a no-brainer.
I think that stories that have staying power and can impact people in a positive way or make them think is really what I'm interested in doing. And to that end, I'm developing a few things for the future with my producing partner. And I love to tell stories, and I love to tell stories that are impactful to people. And I really love to play characters that are a little bit different from me.
Or a lot different in this case.
Different from me.
So it sounds like you two will certainly work together and start together in something in the future.
I hope so. Yeah, no, we will for sure. It's too fun. It's too fun to not. That's part of the beauty of hooking up with a fellow artist, you know.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to start wrapping things up, but it's a silly question to ask at times like this. But do you have upcoming projects for yourselves?
Yeah, yes, actually. As Richard mentioned, he and his producing partner are working on a couple of scripts that have been optioned and have been in the works for a while. So that is on the horizon. Obviously, everything is kind of on hold right now. We finished shooting season 5 of The Expanse right before the pandemic hit, so that will be coming out. We don't have a release date yet, but hopefully soon. And then just waiting to hear if we'll be so fortunate to shoot a 6th season of that show, which I have my fingers crossed for.
That is a very addicting show.
Isn't it so good?
I know. Good thing they saved that show.
You're telling me. Oh, you know what?
Good.
That night that The Expanse got saved was during the shoot for this film. So the night that Jeff Bezos announced that The Expanse was picking back up, I went into work to shoot this film the next morning, and I was like on cloud 9, of course.
How did it feel that Jeff Bezos is such a big fan of that show?
Oh my God. I'm just so thankful that we get to keep telling that story. And, you know, I'm so glad that it resonates with him, you know, with everyone who watches it. We had a huge swelling of, you know, a fan base just like demanding that the show continue. And that felt pretty great. And of course, when we all went back to work on it, it was like we just were so grateful, you know, because we'd already had that cancellation, and that never happens. That never ever happens. So you sort of have to make peace with it ending, and then to have that second chance was something that we were all just over the moon about. Well, space pun for you.
Excellent. Well, this is a wonderful conversation. I really love it. But before I let you go, Cara, I had a quick question.
Yeah.
Were you in Call of the Wild?
Yes, I was.
Is that the one with Harrison Ford?
My buddy Harrison, yeah.
How was that? I mean, I love Harrison Ford. How was it working with him in like I want to say a green screen the whole time?
Yeah. I mean, it was a dream come true. He is a obviously incredible actor. Getting to work up close, having a front row seat to his process was amazing. And he's extremely kind and generous. And of course, I was mostly working with Omar Sy, who is a phenomenal actor and a true joy of a human being. And we just like laughed and laughed and laughed. I think we have the most fun part of the film. So it was great. I mean, it was wild. We shot in Santa Clarita in the desert. And of course that was standing in for, you know, the Yukon. So it was a trip to have to do all of that in front of a green screen. And like, there were no dogs on set. It was just, you know, a extremely talented gentleman named Terry Notary in a motion capture suit. So yeah, it was an amazing process. It was amazing. I'm so glad that it came out right before the pandemic and we got to go see it on a big screen.
Oh, that was so great. I love that.
Yeah.
That was a terrific movie. And Terry's a great guy too, so.
Thank you.
All right. Well, hey, thank you very much, and I want to say congratulations on the baby, and you want to give a shout out to your baby in the future by revealing the name.
Oh, shout out, baby! It's funny, she's been here with us this whole time, and she's just been like quiet this whole time. She's just actually staring at your face right now. Oh, baby. Yeah, she's been a delight. Thank you for that.
And what's her name?
We haven't said it yet, I don't think, publicly.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
We'll hold off.
we're holding off.
It's so
because-
tempting to like put everything online these days, and it's just I feel like her privacy is like, she didn't agree to this.
Yeah, we want to give her the choice.
Yeah, it's
And judging by how she reacts to having her photo taken, she may not be the most public person.
yeah, she does not like getting her picture taken. It's like almost annoying. But
Well,
yes.
whatever her name, I'm sure she appreciates the shout out. 15,
Yeah.
20 years from now, she could always watch this video and realize that you both protected her.
Yeah, we'll be like, see, we didn't start like pimping you out. And we could have.
Yeah.
So you owe us. No, we'll have to.
There we go. Well, excellent. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Bye now.
Thanks, Gabe.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Yeah, I really, really appreciate it. Have a good one.
Hey, you too. Bye. Enjoy.
Bye.
Take care.